Right, I'm back. I'm back. First, let me apologize for being off air for some time. It's we're in Nigeria and so many things you have to deal with. And yes, you say, but you're doing it for God. Yes, I'm doing it for God, but like I told you, I'm not a pastor. I'm doing it because um, I had to do it, right? But in doing it, there are certain circumstances that just come your way sometimes, and they just affect you. And that caused my disappearance for some time. It's about 4 days or thereabout, which is really not nice, so nice, but there it is. This is what it is. But I thank God I'm back, and I give God the glory for giving me the wisdom, the maturity, the strength to weather that storm. It's an ongoing storm, but God is steadying me and steadying me on the course. So I thank Him. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. A lot of us are going through it in Nigeria and all of that. Talking about Nigeria, um, you all know what's going on with the certificates saga of the president. It's not nice, I tell you. It's not nice. Oh, by the way, my name is Chris Paulo Taibe for people who are just seeing this broadcast for the first time. And like I always say, I am not a pastor. I'm neither an evangelist nor a preacher, as you know it, but I'm just Chris Paulo Taibe, your regular guy. Sinner just as you, who decided to share its perspective about our relationship with God within the reality we live in. Because whether you like it or not, we are still in this world. And if we're going to be in this world and not live the realities of this world, living the reality with God and in God, there are certain things that are required, that are demanded of you personally, especially, and there are certain things that are demanded particularly of your church, if you're a Christian, or of your place of worship, because it's an association at the end of the day. And so when members are in trouble, those platforms are meant to come to their aid. And right now, many Christians, I'm a Christian, been a Christian all my life, and so I can only talk about Christianity. Many Christians we speak who are citizens in this country, living in this country, even outside this country, because they are this country, they are Nigerian, they are facing quite a hell of a time at this point in our history as a nation. So, but we just pray that God will deliver us from it all. In Jesus' name, amen. So, right, I'm going to talk about two issues today. I'm talking about, by the way, this is TLOG, the True Love of God platform, the TLOG platform. And I'm your host and your guide. So I'm going to talk about two issues today as we resume this session. One is has to do with Muhammad Ali, joined with Reverend Martin Luther King. You can say that. And then the other, I'm going to talk about relationship, marriage, what have you, really within Christians and generally, really what is it? Christian. Relationship is relationship. Love is love, between two genders. It doesn't matter whether you are from this culture, this religion, this tribe, this whatever. It's the same, So we'll just try to make it different and try to, the culture, the rules of each particular background you're coming from. It's cultural, religion, and race and all that. But essentially, love is love, relationship is relationship between man and woman. And so those are the two issues we're going to talk about today. So let me start with Muhammad Ali. I've been watching during this time I was resting. I've been preoccupied my mind with watching. Suddenly, I don't know why, but now, this is why. Muhammad Ali. Everything about Muhammad Ali. I've watched his fights, watched his speeches, listen to his speeches. The guy is truly the greatest of all time in terms of boxing, even everything that you can think of. He used boxing to as a platform to preach his message, his perspective of our relationship with God to the world, and he did it perfectly. Unfortunately, of course, many Christians didn't see him like that because he changed from, he was born a Christian, born cautiously. Later, he changed religion and he became a Muslim, and then took on the name Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali said, what's the meaning of Muhammad? Muhammad is in praise of God, worthy of praise. Worthy of praise, in praise of, worthy of praise. And Ali is the Most High. The Most High is worthy of praise, and indeed that is what it is. We also agree that Allah is God. Allah is God to the Muslim world, and to the Muslim who say, as Christians who say, our God is our Allah to them. Yeah. So it's the same God we're talking about. So Muhammad Ali did all of that, and he said something that touched me. When American government was going to conscript him into the army to go fight, to go join soldiers in Vietnam, American soldiers to fight the war in Vietnam. He turned it down. At that time, he was the reigning world champion. I guess that was the time he beat Sonny Liston in one of the world's most incredible upsets in boxing history. And he was at he was at the peak of his career at the time, and they used that to victimize him. They stripped him of the belt. Still he was undeterred. And he said something. He said, why am I going to fight people who imply that people who didn't offend me, when the real people who offended me are here in America? Excuse me. When the real people who are my problem are here in America, so why would I why would I be fighting people who didn't offend me, when those who offended me are actually here? And I was talking about the racial discrimination, the racism going in America, and all of that, and that's true. And he stood by his gun, and that was it. I guess, he was fined and all of those things, he did it all. He decided to take the fine, the punishment, rather than go there and go fight people that, didn't offend him. And that is a great thing. And guess who stood by him during all that travails? Well, not even his Muslim brothers. It was not even his black brothers like that. It was not even, of course, the church had the Christian church had like, oh no, since you joined the Muslim, you are now yoked with unbelievers. Can you imagine that? You know who stood by him? Yes, a Christian. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood by him. Now, what's the point of all this? That is the true love of God. Right there. From Muhammad Ali to Reverend Martin Luther King. They displayed the true love of God that is Christ-like. And that was it. All this labeling of I'm a Christian, I'm a born again, lie. Scam, as I always say, it's scam. You're deceiving yourself. When you are presented with the opportunity to show that love, that true love of God, that's when you start to say, no, he's not a Christian, he's not born again, do not be how do they say it? Do not be yoked, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Yes, unbelievers in love, unbelievers in Christ. Yes, Christ has come to embody what is love. But obviously Christ is an idea. He is an idea. Whether you want to like it or not, admit it or not, that's what he is to us. In fact, that talking about idea, we are all ideas to each other, really. Let's face it. I saw one viral video. I watched one viral video from a Ghanaian personality. I can't quite remember his name, but it's somebody who is quite respected in Ghana. And he said that he learned something from his mother, something like that. He said he told the boy when he was a child, said, "Why do you know why I love your father? It's not because he is, it's not because of who he is. It's not because of his name or his person. He loves and respects." He said she told him that she loved and respected his dad as a husband because of the values he stood for. Values. That's it. Values he stood for. Values of love, values of peace, values of joy, values of respect, values of morality, which is righteousness. That's why she loved him, married him, and had children by him. That's the message here. So we love Jesus Christ not because it's just JESUSCHRIST. We love him because of the values he stood for. He came to preach. He came to sell to us. That's why we love him. That's why we respect him. And he practiced those things he preached to the very end, to the very last. So I'm saying this so that you don't continue to deceive yourself or allow somebody to deceive you, or that when you love somebody to have, or you can't stand for the truth. When you're supposed to stand for the truth, you can't stand for your brother who is standing for the truth because of certain for excuses that are just there to make convenient your abdication of a responsibility. So that is what it is. So Martin Luther King and Muhammad Ali, for me, embodied, what do you call it? Yes, some of you can call them messengers of God for our generation. And Muhammad Ali again said something. He said when he defeated George Foreman, remember George Foreman was one of the hardest hitting boxers alive at the time. Excuse me. He said, and you could see the fight. George Foreman was hitting this guy, Muhammad Ali took so much punishment to his body from George Foreman, like never before. And he said, in spite of that, it was okay. He said, he knew God was there with him. He knew Allah was there with him. And that without Allah, he would never have been able to defeat George Foreman. That without God, he would never have been able to defeat George Foreman. That's another thing. You must also realize that yes, God is with us every day. Every day. And we must respect and revere his presence in our lives. To do that means that we have to obey his commandments for us. We have to do what he said we should do. It's when we do those in fear of him and in respect and in reverence to him that we can truly say we have a relationship with God. And that's the fact of the matter. That is the fact of the matter. So that's all I have to say about that. So if you have any comment, please share it with me and let me see. You can enlighten me on areas that I do not, I'm not aware of just now regarding this topic and all of that. But we can do this together. That's what I'm saying. So don't just think I'm the one to be talking. But if you can join me, like I really have not gotten the hang of this, how to get people to join and all of that. But then here it is. Help me with comments, share, like, and all of that. So the second one, which is relationship. Relationship. I have this friend who said to me that he fell in love with an older woman, and himself and that older woman had not really met physically, but he fell in love with her at a point in his life that he was really at ground zero and all of that. And this is a guy who used to really he had cars, three or four cars or thereabout at the time I knew him. And he had a great house and all that. And he had a relationship at the time. And the next time I was him, he said he ran away from where he was. I think it was in Calabar at the time. And then he ran back to Lagos, and but he said it wasn't, there was a bad time for him, but it wasn't really, because at the time he had money, he was too much into women and he thought women loved him and all of that. And when his trial started, he saw that no, that was all a lie. They were all in love with him because of the money. So, and when he started, those were the lessons he learned during his trial period. So when he came to return to Lagos, he had, of course, affairs and all of that. So, and then at the point he just said, no, I'm not doing this. I'm packing all of this up. I think I want to have a relationship with God. Yeah. And he actually plunged himself into the church and all of those things. He was quite faithful. He remains faithful, but like me, he said he cannot be a pastor and all of that. But he's okay it's okay being a worker in church. I think he helps, I think in the ushering department. So, and then he said he met this woman, online and all of those things. No, not online. He met this woman in church. And the woman's quite rich, quite comfortable and all of those things. And but so for some reason, my friend said he loves her sincerely and he was ready to do anything for her and all of those things. But guess what? The woman was about almost 10 years older than he is, or more, I don't know. But my friend said he loves her. That age was not the issue here. But guess what? The older woman wanted him to do things that he said, what? Even younger girls have not asked me to do this. And, in my days, I say, the older woman, like he explained to me that the older woman traveled and she expected him to come join her, I think in Abuja or something. And my friend said, I don't have money. I'm the way I am, managing myself. And the woman was like, no, if you really love me, you come and join me here. And there's a woman who can even charter a jet, for the guy to come. I said, no, you have to find money, use your what to do whatever you can and come join me. And my friend said, well, at this point, I don't have, and I will not kill myself going to get the money. And I'm not going to rob a bank because just to prove my love for you. So you can hold yourself, hold your, and that was how my friend just said, look. And my friend said, look, they told him, a pastor told him that, that it's a woman who would bring you up. That's what God told the pastor. That's what the pastor told him, that the woman is the one that will actually, bring you back up. And then, for you to resume your purpose in life, and then you prosper. Well, he never took that seriously, but that's what's happened to him, and that's it. So, what do I want to say from that? That relationship between two people, and these two people met in church. Don't forget. Now, the truth of the matter is this: my take. Love is a risk. Love between a man and a woman is a risk. But it's a risk, it's an adventure we all at some point have no choice but to take. Because if you don't take it, you will not experience it. and to experience it, you just have to give it a shot. If you say, and then you keep telling me that woman, she's upright, she's morally this, morally that, and the woman really condemns his past life, that he's had a relationship with women and all that, including married women, for which he has actually repented. I know he has repented. And the woman, would I say, I won't do those kind of a thing, and I don't like this kind of a thing. I won't throw myself at men cheaply or young men cheaply or something. And those who do it, they are stupid, and none of the women who do it is stupid. And I said, look, perhaps that you should, you should let her know this. I said, this is what you let her know. Nobody is given to judge. Nobody. That's why Christ said, do not judge. Do you know why I said that? Because those who find themselves in those kind of situations didn't plan for them. It is important that you know that those who enter those kind of crises never plan for them. If they had their way, they won't enter into those bad things or whatever it is. And women especially are wired by nature to be loyal in love. And so where a woman crosses, because they cross from good into God knows whatever they enter into, it meant that she reached a tipping point, and then she had to cross to save her life and her sanity. So most women, or some women who throw themselves at younger men, or who use their money to get men to be their sex partners and what have you, please do not be fast to judge them. You don't know where they've been. You don't know what's happening in their lives. And I said, even those who say they are virgins and they are moral, but they are not enjoying or experiencing the pleasure in relationship, please ask them, do they, as United Nations, giving them a trophy, or are they getting a plaque or award somewhere, or do they take it to the bank and they get money? Always said, are they being celebrated worldwide? But, oh, you are a virgin, or you are so morally upright, oh my God. Are they enjoying those things? It's a choice. Indeed, love is a choice. Love comes to you, and when it comes to you, you choose whether you want it or not. And love doesn't come to you in the way you want it. That's how God works. He doesn't even God never blesses you in ways and through people that you expected. That God can bless you through your enemy. So Jesus Christ said, you must forgive. God can bless you through a slum. He can bless you through a destitute. He can bless you through a beggar. He can bless you through a normal person. He can bless you through a madman. He can bless you through... But what God uses to bless you is your compassion, your empathy, your generosity, your love for the next person, whether you know that person or not. That's how God blesses you. So you don't choose how God and when and where God blesses you. A lot of us, the relationship, we are running a relationship with God by memo. We give the memo to God and we pretend, and let it will be done. But we know what we want Him to do. We know that we are commanding Him, we are instructing Him. Because He said we should ask, it didn't mean that we should ask rudely or stupidly. For us to ask, we must do some things ourselves that will make Him to answer us, to give us that we have asked for. Can't tell God, I want you to do it now. I want the man or the woman to be this, to be that, to be this and that and that. God will answer, because if you are in God's position, the person you're going to do a favor to has no right to direct you on as to how you favor that you will bless that person. If somebody you want to help, it comes to you, please, you see, even though you want to give me whatever you want to give me, please make sure that when you give me, I can use it to build a house, I can use it to buy cars, I can use it to buy a jet, I can use it to do this, I can use it to do that. But that you've already, that's by name, you've already instructed him, ordered him, how you want him to bless you. He won't do that, because God in his infinite mercy knows what we want as opposed to what we need. He knows what we need as opposed to what we want. So he gives us each time what we need. And he gives us in ways, in packages, containers that on a normal ground we will not even accept. He did it to Peter when he was in prison. Remember when Peter was hungry and then he brought some poured food down for him to eat, but they were doing too only for Peter to eat, and Peter declined until they knocked sense into Peter in the Bible. So that's how God works. So you would think my man must be like this, be like that, even if I'm going to do this. And I told him, I said, did you ask her that, okay, she has been having a relationship and all of that, and for her level, she's a rich person. How many of those people how many of our rich men and who are of our class, why haven't those ones fallen in love with her and married her? That goes with you, even the younger ones. You want a man who is this, he must be tall, he must be six-packed, he must be this, he must be that, he must be rich. Oh yes. You see, God knows why he's the one who has the key to love, because he is love. That's why he made it possible that the tall will marry the tall will fall in love with the short, the big will fall in love with the small, the weak will fall in love with the strong, the mighty will fall in love with the underdog. That's how he did it. He did it deliberately to balance it. Otherwise there will be inequity in his creation, in nature, and among men. So you don't have a say when love gets to you. And like I told my friend, because I had to lecture him, I said, one thing about love is that love comes on its own terms at its own time. But God, who is the author of love, the author and finisher of our faith, knows and has given us that conviction, that signal in somewhere in our heart, so that when we see that love, that signal, there will be a connect. It's there. We know when we see it. Just that most of us decide to say no, even though my heart goes to this person, but the packaging, her packaging is not quite it. It's not rich, it doesn't even have what it doesn't this. But your heart connects to him or her. And those kind of moments come once in a long time, once in a long while. If you don't recognize them or you refuse to recognize them when they come, you lose it and you become miserable for most of your life. Though you can put up a front, I don't care, but inside of your heart, and when you are in bed at night and you are hugging your pillow, that thing keeps hitting you and say, you see, the pain of guilt you sleep with every day, you wake up with every day. And then, of course, a lot of women and men, a lot of women, they know how to put up that front. But deep down there, they are hurting, And for every day, you miss the opportunity to connect to whom God has given to you, to whom your heart connects to. There are days and moments you miss forever. You can never gain them back. You can never regain them. But you could make up for them when you virtually submit yourself to the will of God for you in respect of relationship. And that's it. So what am I saying? If you are a woman, I know there are so many men in Nigeria today where younger men are looking for older women, sugar mummies that they can clinch to and suck them dry or whatever. I know that we are living in that world today. But because you women are given that higher intuition, you will know. If you submit, you just submitted because of the momentary pleasure you want. But you know as a woman that that person is not good for you. You know. But because he packaged himself in the way that would suit your taste, and he said, no, I can deal with this, yes, But in the end, it's not the person. The real person was meant to you, for you. Because the person is less, the packaging or the content of the person is less attractive to you. He said, no, I don't want this person. He's do this, he's do that. When he could have used your compassion, your generosity to win your love. I love this song Michael Jackson used to sing, the love that you say could be your own. My advice to you as a man, as a woman, especially women, because for the man, he can do it anyhow. But for the woman, you are not given to do it anyhow. You can't just step on the street and say you work with more than one man, and then you have 3 men. You say these are my men, my husbands. People will stone you on the street now, but the man can walk tall with 3, 4, 7 women. You hear them, they marry more than one woman today, more than one woman today, right? You hear that? A man can marry more than one at the same time. More than 2 at the same time, more than 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at the same time. You see them, you watch the video now. They are real. These are reality. These are not speculation or conjecture. But can you, as a woman, stand tall and they are marrying 5 men, 2 men, even 2 men at the same time? People, I don't know. You know that it will not be accepted, and because it's not acceptable. So you are on the other side, the receiving end of this. On the short end of the stick. So the only thing you can do for yourself is let that generosity, that your compassion come forth first. Let the Christ love that is in you, which is loving yourself, loving your neighbor as yourself, the empathy, the sympathy for somebody who is, if you find a man, help him first. Yes. Help that person first. And let the love naturally come. Help him to the level that you want him. Make him, bring out the humanity in him. Do it for God first. If he needs your help, help him. Don't help him because he's going to, you want him to love you. No, don't. If he says he loves you, okay, fine. But don't take his word because it's in a situation right now. But if you are moved to help him, help him. Okay, let your generosity go ahead of you. Let your compassion go ahead of you. If it's yours, he will stay and come back by himself to you. Come to you by himself. If it's not yours, let him go. Because of the generosity that you showed and compassion you showed, God will reward you with the right person. It's just like a woman looking for a child, a barren woman. And you say, and people say, you don't want to see other people's children. You don't want to take care of the child of the poor. And you say, you don't want to adopt, yes? And then, because it's not my own now. Why should I use my money to train another person's child? You know what Yoruba says, Ori omo ló ń pọmọ wá, Ori omo ló ń pọmọ wáyé, or something like that. It is the head of the child that calls forth a child, another child. And it's true. It's true. And speaks to the love of God, the true love of God in you. If you don't have it, you don't have it. And you can't benefit from the perks, the good thing that comes from being nice, from being compassionate, from being generous, from being loving to another person. You can't. So that is what it is. So so for you ladies, especially the older one was looking for a companion, you have to practice true love, true compassion, true generosity. Maybe through that, God can give you the man of your dream. It may not be the person you are helping, maybe somebody else. God's gift to you as a result of the gift you give somebody else, the gift of God you give somebody else. That's the way it works. So that's it. So that's what I have for you today. Well, I'm sorry I didn't have to give a notice. This just came and I said, look, if I must continue this, I just have to respond to inspiration from the Spirit, from the Holy Spirit, that you will say, and without questioning. So that's why I had to come this morning quickly to do this right now. Thank you very much. Please leave your comments and all of that, and we'll meet again. Maybe I was on Instagram the last time, but I had to move out of there because Instagram now had issues with me too. I had issues with Instagram, sorry. And to download it was a problem. It's easier to download Facebook. And secondly, a lot of you are here, so I'm sure when you see this, you will know that I'm back and will return. So as we go along, I will resume the notification so that you can you can join me as usual. Thank you very much. I am Chris Paulo Taibe, your friend and your guide on this platform. So let's meet again, maybe later today or tomorrow. I will let you know as time goes on. Thank you very much. So that's it. This is the TLOG platform, the true love of God. Thank you very much. God bless you.